Yo, what's going on, fellas? It's your favorite Boruto YouTuber, Sixpass Dunga, back again with yet another video. Actually, I don't know if I'm your favorite. Probably not. There's a lot of great content creators out there, but yeah, not a board. Anyways, I wasn't going to make this video, but something pissed me off. So I don't know if you're really in tune with the spoiler community regarding Boruto TBV VORTEX, but one of the main leakers, who I won't reveal because there's really no point in me doing that. So if you know, you know. You're more than welcome to put his name in the comment section for the people that want to know. But this specific leaker actually lied about a couple things that was in chapter 17. He talked about Kakashi being in this chapter, and newsflash, he wasn't. So that was one lie, but that didn't really get me upset. What really got me upset was him lying about a potential Daemon versus Jura matchup. It was stated that Daemon basically wanted to fight Jura to prove himself to be the strongest, and everyone believed it, because that's the sort of childish game Daemon would be interested in. Like, that's literally something he would say, is it not? So of course we all believed it, and most Boruto YouTubers already made videos on it, like Kidomaki and Naruto Explained. And this sucks for them because they're just trying to get out this content for their viewers as soon as possible, and they both pull a great amount of viewers on their channel, so a lot of people believe that Daemon versus Jura was a reality, but in all hindsight, it's not. So it doesn't just annoy everyone, but it shoots the credibility of some content creators when it's not their fault in the slightest. That's why at this point, I tend to just wait for the raw scans to drop to go live and react to it, because a lot of leakers can and do actually lie about things that occur in the manga, and I just simply don't want to get caught up in none of that. And now, since Daemon versus Jura most likely isn't going to happen anytime soon, I don't want to leave you guys with nothing regarding that topic. So in today's video, I decided to talk about a scenario where those two actually do fight, and exactly how would they match up with each other if that happens. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not just doing it because of you guys, I'm actually interested in the topic myself, so yeah, it kind of intrigued me and it was fun to write this video. So now that you kind of know the backstory of why I want to make this video, I say let's get right into it, no delay. All I ask is that you leave a quick like on the video. I do write, record, and edit all of these videos myself, so it would be nice if you could return that love, and it does help the video in the YouTube algorithm, so if you want to support the channel directly, every single like is much appreciated. So Daemon versus Jura, both widely regarded as the strongest of their time, and both undefeated in the altercations that they've been in so far. But which one would come out on top if they were to have it out? I feel like they both have pretty clear win conditions right off the bat, so I'm not going to waste time here. You guys know what it is. Does Daemon have the necessary physical stats to deal with any attack he's presented with and defeat Jura in a quick enough manner? And can Jura actually touch Daemon without getting his attack reflected back at him? So they're both broken characters in their own right. Throughout the story so far, both have proven to have outright insane levels of power and overall speed and physical strength. But just because of the current narrative and direction the story is going right now, Jura has had a bit more opportunities to show his capabilities, and against very formidable opponents too. Against Code, and I hate to use Code as a measure of power, considering they both literally negged him with no concept of difficulty at all, it's very easy to see that Jura was able to defeat Code without even lifting a finger. Completely blew his hand off with a single glance. This is most likely the same exact attack that caught Boruto off guard and almost killed him. In that time, Jura fired that laser-like technique from a considerable distance, and it still caught him off guard enough to critically injure him. The guy who was easily able to dodge KAWAKI's rods at a much closer distance. And remember, these rods move at such fast speeds that Sasuke's Sharingan wasn't even able to follow. Only a select few characters were able to perceive and react to these rods up until that point. And those characters are Daemon, Momoshiki, Baryanmo Naruto, and Hidari. Now, I'm not gonna be disingenuous and act like I don't know that there's a possibility that Ishiki's rods and Kawaki's rods aren't on the same level of effectiveness. Before, there really wasn't a solid way to prove it, other than just seeing that Kawaki wasn't anywhere near Ishiki's power level. But now, knowing that Kawaki had limiters on him that suppressed his offensive capabilities, it becomes much more believable that this feat isn't as impressive as Naruto's, who dodged and caught Ishiki's rods. But at the same time, these rods manifest out of the Daikokuten dimension, and they stay small until restored to their original size with Sukuna Hikona. So they still have to react to it and be able to dodge it in time. So if there's any difference between Kawaki's and Ichiki's rods, it's only the speed at which the rods move and nothing else, which isn't a huge difference at all. So it's very likely that this beam Jura shoots out of his eye could be faster and harder to react to than Kawaki's rods. And let me just say, Code failed to react to both. So in this case, we're mainly looking at Boruto, and it's not an anti-feat for Boruto. I mean, he just got caught off guard by an attack that moves at light speed. The most important takeaway of this part of my argument is that the attack potency of the rods versus the light beam is literally night and day. If Jura attack lands on you, it's fatal, very hard to recover from, even for the characters with higher durability scaling. So Jura's already proven to be able to negate high levels of durability with his attacks, something Damon has yet shown the ability to do with his own strength, and not the reflection Shinjutsu. And speaking of Damon's Shinjutsu, let's talk a little more about that, because I feel like that's the main deciding factor of this battle, and it's not really all that close either. So let's try to see if we can figure this out. So far we know that Damon's Shinjutsu ability can reflect any attack with intent, whether it's physical or psychological, and he can automatically reflect an attack if he's touching you with the palm of his hands. That means you can't even think about harming Damon without getting that attack reflected back onto you, or even have him touch you for that matter anyway. But that's the problem we might have here. It's not the attacks that's the problem, it's the intent behind it. And it's all a mental game at that point, because realistically, you're not really going to attack people or anything for that matter without intent behind it. Whether it's to harm that person or thing for hostile reasons, or simply to defend yourself, you want to cause that person harm one way or another. It's not like we're beings that instinctively attack people for little to no reason, but the same can't really be said for the Shinju. Earlier on in the story, we learned that the Shinju's motives is more or less directly influenced by their instincts, and this is what drives them toward their goal of becoming more aware of themselves and the world around them. This has a direct relationship of something Shikamaru said in the most recent chapter about the Shinju's instinct. It could be perhaps that the Shinju aren't really evil. All their actions up to this point were based off instinct. So technically there wasn't any evil intent behind it at all. It's just natural instinct. Whether it's devouring their target or trying to attack somebody that's trying to attack them. It's really easy if you think about it like that. Everyone that's attacked Damon and had their blows reflected back at him had a sense of malicious intentions behind it, either very faint or as strong as can be. However, and this really isn't the first time I said this on my channel, but what if he's against beings that don't naturally attack off their own intentions? Let's look at Mamushi for example. You would think Damon would dispose of him easily, but he's targeting Ada. And his decision to target Ada was 100% an instinctual decision. Everything about the Shinju's targets has to do with their own instinct, meaning there's no malicious intentions behind attacking them. So if Damon was to try and protect Ada from Mamushi, I'm banking on his Shinjutsu not working on him. Meaning if it's not physically beating Mamushi to a pulp, touching him, or using some type of strong jutsu to destroy him in 1 or 2 blows, there's no way to really defeat him. Right before Damon was about to reveal the details about how his ability works to Code, Ada stopped him, stating that he shouldn't show all his cards so readily. So there's definitely some things we don't know about Damon's Shinjutsu, potential weaknesses, or ways to counteract it. So back to Jura. Let's say Damon attacks Jura first, or even just challenges him, because I feel that's how a Damon versus Jura battle would start anyway. So if Jura is attacked or challenged, instinctively that's telling him that he needs to protect himself at all costs. From Shikamaru's words, there's no evil intent behind their instinctive actions. So by all rights, the story is literally trying to tell us that there's a possibility the Shinju can get around this reflective ability one way or another. And if that's the case, I don't think there's a scenario where Damon can actually destroy Jura. His only option of reflection would be to try to touch Jura with his palms when he gets close to Damon, and from then reflect his attack back at him, sending him flying. However, this would be short-lived against someone like Jura, who appears to have extensive knowledge of everyone in Konoha and most likely across the ninja world, just because of the knowledge he's gained before and after he was born as the reincarnation of the Ten Tails. So there's a strong possibility he does know about Damon's reflective abilities, as he already knew a number of things that were yet to be revealed to him, like Ada Senragon, or even knowing the identity of Shigadai, who's a part of Moegi's Team 10 and son of the current Hokage. So there's proof he definitely knows who these people are, which could prove fatal in a battle like this for Daemon. And this is kind of a petty point to bring up, but I'm bringing it up anyway. They all have the claw mark ability as well, so they all possess a technique that is considered Shinjutsu. It's really hard to say if Jura doesn't already know about some, if not all Shinjutsu already from birth. If he know about the Senragon, which acts as a catalyst for omnipotence, and actually possesses a Shinjutsu himself, then I could say he does have knowledge of the true nature of Daemon's Shinjutsu, and that could lead him to find a way to correctly navigate around the technique. So the last point that I want to make that actually matters in a battle like this is possibly the fact that all the Shinju have access to the claw marks and now command all of the claw grinds to do their bidding. From Daemon's battle with Code actually shown the ability to shortly catch Daemon off guard a bit from the swift movement the claw grinds allows its user. It wasn't enough to create an advantage because Code still had no way of getting past Daemon's reflective ability, and he was way too slow. But in the hands of the Shinju who can possibly cause Daemon harm, it could be very, very dangerous. Even for the split second Daemon is caught off guard, he's trying to figure out where Code was going to emerge from next. Like I said, the advantage created from the claw marks shouldn't be enough to win Jura the fight by itself. But in combination with everything else I stated, like his Biju laser or the ability to bypass his Shinjutsu, it can make defeating Jura that much harder. And the Shinju can demand a handful amount of the claw grinds. And if you don't believe the Shinju don't act 100% off instinct, the claw grinds definitely do. They show no level of awareness at all. So if they attack you, there's no intent behind it at all. It is 100% instinctual. So if Daemon's not touching the claw grinds, they can attack him. That much is for sure. But I'm not going to say too much about the claw grinds because they're fodder and Daemon would just one tap them anyway. So yeah, not too much to say about the claw grinds. They wouldn't be able to touch Daemon anyway. But these are two characters that have yet to go all out in battle. So if they do fight, it'll be something to see. Probably the best fight in the series as of right now. And they both have very clear win conditions. If Daemon going all out can push Jura back and activate his Shinjutsu by touching him, he can possibly reflect one of Jura's attacks back at him, killing him on the spot despite his incredible regeneration abilities. But if Jura is able to bypass Daemon's Shinjutsu and able to withstand all of Daemon's physical attacks as well as being able to stay out of the way of his touch, then Jura wins, and it's not all that close either. So I think I'll let you all tell me who wins based on the points I made in this video. Do you think Daemon has more win cons than Jura? Or do you think Jura's win cons are more overwhelming? Overall, they're very powerful characters, and no matter how you look at it, the fight will be mid to high diff for both sides depending on how everything plays out. So for now, that's all I really have to say about that. Of course, I didn't talk too much about Jura's statements. You know, KASHIN KOJI telling everyone that the chances of them beating Jura wouldn't be 1 in a million, or Boruto stating that even he wouldn't come close to beating Jura, because I feel statements can be so misleading sometimes, especially when pertaining to a character's strength. Boruto literally told Daemon no matter how much he trained, he doesn't think he'll be able to defeat Daemon. So sometimes statements can be a little hyperbolic, so I try not to base my claims too much off vague statements. But if we take those statements to heart, then yeah, I guess Jura got it, and it's apparently not close either. So anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with any points I made throughout the video, and maybe you thought there was some points I missed or could have explained a little better. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and remember, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you know whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next video, I'll see you guys and gals later, and I'm out. Peace.